Do you know what time it is? It's time for Flashback 4. But before we get to those 4 questions, let's take a look at the 10 frames near the top. What number does that represent? 23. Great. So why don't you pause here and have a go at those 4 questions. Then come back and we'll go through the answers together. Question 1. There are 2 groups of 4 cookies. Question 2. One red bucket fills 4 smaller yellow buckets. How many red buckets will it take to fill 8 small yellow buckets? 2. Question 3. How long is the train? The train is 4 cubes long. And question 4. What is 2 more than 6? 8. Well done. Let's get busy on our next lesson. Today we're going to continue talking about find a half. Remember, in the last lesson we were looking at pictures and objects and shapes and trying to look at what does 1/2 look like. Well, today we're going to continue, only we're going to look at groups of objects and finding a half. Think back to when we used to make equal groups. Here we have 2 plates. And how many Smarties do we have? Did you count 10? Great. Well, if we wanted to share those Smarties into 2 equal groups, we'd be trying to figure out 10 shared into 2 equal groups. How many would go on each plate? How many would be in each group? Well, let's share them. 1 for this plate, 1 for this plate, and let's keep going. There. We've now shown 10 Smarties shared into 2 equal groups. And how many are in each group? 5. Can you see how we've divided the 10 Smarties into half? Oh, look, here are some ants crawling around my page. How many ants do we have? I see 6. Oh, they're moving. I wonder if they're trying to make rows and columns. Come on, ants, you can do a better job than that. There. So our 6 ants are now in rows and columns. I wonder if we could find half of 6. Can you see half of 6? How many is it? Yes, this is half of 6. And we can see here that half of 6 ants is 3 ants. Let's try one more. Here are some leaves, and they seem to have fallen nicely into rows and columns. Can you find half of the leaves? First, we need to find out how many leaves do we have, because we want to find half of all the leaves. How many do we have altogether? 14. Could you draw around half of the leaves? Yes. So now, half of 14 is 7. Well done. Here are some rows and columns of cones. Can you find half of the cones? Well, first I think we should count up how many cones do we have. We're trying to find half of all the cones. How many cones are there? 12. And how can we show half of 12? Let's draw a circle around them. Did you do it like this? Oh, yes, there is another way. We could show half like this. Whichever way we show it, we can see that half of 12 is 6. Well done. Oh, hey Whitney, what have you been doing? Looks like you've been coloring. Whitney says, I colored in half of the clouds. Can you see how many Whitney colored in? Oh, and here's Teddy. What's going on, Teddy? Teddy says, I colored in half of the clouds. They each had 4 clouds, and they each colored in some of them. Who's correct? What's the same? What's different? Well, Whitney colored in 2 of the 4 clouds. Teddy colored in 2 of the 4 clouds. But they decided to color in different ones. Does it matter? No. Whitney and Teddy both did a great job coloring in half of the clouds. Oh, look. Here are some buttons. It says here, if this is half of the buttons, how many are there all together? Oh. So it doesn't want us to find half of them. This is half of the buttons. So I don't know how many there are altogether, but I do know that half of an amount is 4 buttons. So how many are there altogether? Right. This would be the total amount. So half of all of them, 8, is 4. That was interesting. It's time now for you to pause. Have a go at the questions on your sheet. If you